How's it going, everyone? It's SavageSkull, and today I'm going to talk about one of my favorite games and effectively how one of my favorite games, Halo Combat Evolved, effectively saved video games as a whole. What the game means to be now, what the game means to be back then, and what the game means to the entire world. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, like this video so others can watch it, and let's get on with the video. Halo Combat Evolved, released in 2001, emerged as nothing more than a savior for the gaming industry during a time of stagnation and uncertainty. Halo Combat Evolved revolutionized gaming, revolutionized the FPS genre, and ignited a cultural phenomenon that continues to shape the world of gaming today. Halo Combat Evolved breathed new life into gaming by introducing groundbreaking gameplay mechanics that redefined the genre of first-person shooters. One of its standout features was the introduction of regenerative health, a departure from the traditional health pack system. This innovative mechanic eliminated the frustration of hunting for health packs, allowing players to remain fully immersed in the game and focus on the exhilarating combat experience. The game's wide array of weapons and vehicles further expanded the possibilities and depth of gameplay across all game genres. From the iconic energy swords of this game to the devastating rocket launcher, each weapon offered unique tactical advantages, ensuring that no two encounters were the same when you played Halo. The inclusion of drivable vehicles like the Warthog and Banshee not only added an extra layer of excitement, but also allowed for strategic maneuvering and epic battles on a grand scale. Not only that, but Halo Combat Evolved revolutionized multiplayer gaming. Halo Combat Evolved's multiplayer component played a significant role in saving gaming by fostering a vibrant and tightly knit community through Xbox Live. The introduction of cooperative multiplayer gameplay was a game changer, enabling players to join forces and tackle challenges together. This cooperative experience brought friends closer and still provides a platform for shared adventures and memories. Halo's Combat Evolved competitive multiplayer mode set the stage for the rise of esports and competitive gaming. It created an avenue for players to test their skills against one another, paving the way for organized tournaments and the birth of professional gaming. The game's balanced multiplayer maps, coupled with its addictive gameplay, drew players into an addictive and immersive online world that solidified Halo as a gaming staple. Halo Combat Evolved's rich and immersive storyline played a crucial role in saving gaming from its root. The game transported players into a vast science fiction universe where they assumed the role of Master Chief, one of the greatest video game characters of all time, a super soldier fighting to save humanity from the relentless Covenant forces, and this engrossing narrative compete with intriguing plot twists and unforgettable characters like the AI companion Cortana kept players invested and eager to uncover the mysteriousness of the Halo ring world. The success of Halo Combat Evolved's narrative set a new benchmark for storytelling in video games and led us to get better stories in games such as games like God of War Ragnarok and other games of the sort. It demonstrated that games could deliver cinematic experiences on par with other mediums and captivate players with emotionally resonant narratives. Halo Combat Evolved's storytelling process influenced subsequent games and emphasized the potential of video games as a powerful storytelling medium. Halo Combat Evolved's arrival marked a turning point in the history of gaming, rescuing the industry from a state of stagnation and paving the way for future success. The game's revolutionary gameplay mechanics, immersive multiplayer experiences, and captivating narrative captivated players and breathed new life into video games. By introducing new things, new ways to play with other players, Halo Combat Evolved evolved and redefined the FPS genre and offered players unprecedented freedom and excitement. Its cooperative and competitive multiplayer modes brought people together, nurturing a sense of community and establishing foundations for modern-day esports. That is why Halo Combat Evolved saved gaming and is probably the most important video game of all time. Halo Combat Evolved. Halo 2 is a first-person shooter game that was released for the Xbox in 2004. The game is the second installment in the Halo franchise and is a direct sequel to the original Halo Combat Evolved. The game's campaign mode continues the story of the first game, following the Master Chief as he battles the Alien Covenant as their leader, the Prophet of Truth. The game's multiplayer mode, which is a major selling point, allows players to engage in online multiplayer battles with up to 16 players. And I really enjoyed the multiplayer of Halo 2, criminally underrated, and something that you should definitely check out. The graphics in Halo 2 are impressive, and the game's artificial intelligence is well done, especially for the time period in 2004. The game controls are tight and responsive, making it easy to aim and shoot on the Xbox controller. The game's multiplayer mode is particularly strong, with a variety of game modes and maps to choose from. One of the major improvements in Halo 2 is the addition of dual-wielding weapons, allowing players to wield two weapons at once, which adds an extra layer of depth to the gameplay and an extra layer of strategy to the gunplay. The game also introduces new weapons and enemies, keeping the gameplay fresh and exciting. The gameplay's multiplayer mode is a standout feature of the game, providing hours of fun and entertainment. The game's matchmaking system makes it easy to find and join games, especially with the new Master Chief Collection, and the game's ranking system adds an extra layer of competition. The game's map design is well done, providing a variety of environments to play in, and the game's vehicles are a lot of fun to use as well. One of the biggest criticisms of Halo 2 is that the campaign mode is relatively short and can be completed in a few hours. However, the game's multiplayer mode more than makes up for this, providing hours of entertainment and replayability. And there's also a bunch of different new modes and challenges you can do in the Master Chief Collection of Halo 2 that make it super difficult and one of the hardest challenges in gaming, which is also something that could be explored if you want to have an extra challenge in gaming. The game's campaign mode is a thrilling action-packed ride that keeps the player on the edge of their seat. The graphics are stunning and the artificial intelligence of the enemies is impressive. And the true highlight of the game is indeed the multiplayer mode. However, the campaign of Halo 2 is definitely overlooked, as Master Chief is given a brand new place and a brand new story to fit in the world of Halo, which, as you know from my reviews of Halo, the Master Chief having a big part in the game is definitely something I look for and is definitely something I give a lot of points for, even though technically we don't give a lot of points here too often. But Halo 2 is super good, and overall, Halo 2 is a great game that is well worth playing, and probably the game you should start with if you're getting into Halo. You might want to skip Combat Evolved just because it's a little bit rocky and slow, but Halo 2 is top-notch and provides hours of entertainment, and if you're a fan of first-person shooter games, Halo 2 is a must-play game for you. Honestly, if you're a fan of Halo, if you're a fan of first-person shooters, you owe it to yourself to at least try and hopefully beat Halo 2. It's a fun challenge that I really encourage you to play, and it's just all around an awesome game that will go down in history as one of the best. Halo 3 is the perfect Halo game, and maybe not even the perfect Halo game. Halo 3 is the perfect game. From the stunning visuals to the incredible gameplay, Halo 3, despite its old age, has truly stood the test of time. Being released in 2007 at seemingly was the height of Halo's popularity, Halo 3 entered the game right after the Xbox 360 was released, and fans were super excited to be granted another game in the Halo franchise. Not only was the hype for this game incredible, I believe that Halo 3 has the best video game trailer to date. I'll link it in the description below, but you should really watch the E3 announcement of Halo 3. It is breathtaking, and it gets me excited to play the game, despite me seeing it tens and tens of times. The thing that makes this game stand out from the earlier games, Combat Evolved and Halo 2, Halo 3 is the first modern Halo game that we would ever see. Being released on the Xbox 360, Microsoft and Bungie had a lot more to work with, and you can obviously see that in this game. The frame rate's a lot better than the first two, the aspect ratio is fixed, and this game is just really good at making you feel like you want to play Halo and you're a little bit more powerful because of that new console and the game itself. But the reason Halo 3 is so special to me is because it stood the test of time. Every time I play it, I feel like I'm still playing a modern game, even like Halo Infinite or any other game that comes out in recent years. Halo 3 really encapsulates what a good shooter should be with this story, the gameplay, the enemies are really fun in Halo 3, and everything about it just feels new and fresh despite my playing it a bunch of times. My favorite part of Halo 3 has got to be the story. Master Chief's rise to defeating another warlord is just super cool, and his loss of Cortana makes the story a lot more great. Now, they would reuse that storyline in Infinite, but I think it's pretty good. Come to think of it, Halo Infinite and Halo 3 are very similar in the fact that the worlds are super beautiful and the stories are pretty similar, but I think both of these games do a really good job of bringing out the story, and honestly, both these games really encapsulate what a Halo game should be, unlike the games of Halo 4 and Halo 5 kind of being a little bit scrappy and into more sci-fi than Master Chief himself. And if you've watched any of these Halo review videos, you know that my favorite part of the games themselves is Master Chief, the man himself, the man in the Spartan armor, and Halo 3 really gives us a deep dive into Master Chief, why he's leading the Spartan Corps, and why he is the way he is, why he's so determined to save the ones he cares about, and why he's doing the thing that he loves, which is going on missions and hunting down aliens, and by golly, I love it too. Halo 3, the gameplay is just outstanding. All the guns are great. My favorite is still the Needler. Halo 3's Needler is clearly the best with the way the projectiles move and everything like that. The classic assault rifle is also pretty good. The only thing that, shakes me a little bit about the gameplay is the punches kind of seem a little bit fake at times, but other than that, Halo 3's gameplay is really smooth, everything is super engaging, and no level is too hard or too easy, and with the Master Chief Collection, you can tailor the difficulty to your liking. It's incredible. And even to this day, I feel like the graphics stand out a little bit. They're not incredible or groundbreaking by today's standards by any means, but I feel like the graphics really give me a feel of what Halo was supposed to be. Again, this was Bungie's first go at making a game for the Xbox 360, so the way they've made it look this good and make it look so much like Halo, just like the older games of 1 and 2, is just super cool, and the way they've done it in 3 is just so great. It looks like Halo. This is what I believe Halo was always meant to be, at least for Bungie's version on the Xbox 360. A lot of you may know that I've said before, Halo 3 might be my favorite game of all time. And while that still might be true, it's definitely my favorite shooter game of all time. But I really like it because not one piece of this game, the story, the gameplay, feels like it has more emphasis on any other part of the game. Playing through Halo 3, it really feels like the story, as well as the cutscenes, as well as the gameplay, as well as the HUD, everything seems like it had the exact equal attention to detail and care put into it as every other aspect does. So Halo 3 is really balanced, but my definite favorite part is we get to learn more about my favorite character of all time, Master Chief. Halo Reach is quite literally the last true Halo game. This was the final game that was released by Bungie, and it truly is an amazing game. It might have something to do with the great visuals or the great gameplay, but the fact that this was the Halo game I definitely played the most as a kid, Halo Reach is a pure, fun, exciting piece of art in the gaming world. Honestly, I believe Halo Reach, despite it not fitting there in the timeline, serves as a great bridge graphics and gameplay wise from Halo 3 to 343's Halo 4. Halo Reach, for those of you who don't know, is a prequel to the original Halo Combat Evolved game, going back and truly diving into the origins of Master Chief himself. As always, anything new for us about Master Chief is always a bonus for me, and something I always look for in a Halo game. But Halo Reach makes Master Chief more of a team leader than anything else, something that this game did correctly and something that Halo 5 Guardians did not do correctly. This game puts Master Chief at the front without making him feel worthless and equal to everyone else. This game gives him the story and the right to earn and wear the suit we would see him later wear in those Halo games. One of the complaints I hear too often about this game is that the prequel story makes the game lose its momentum. While prequel stories always tend to lose some of the tension and unknowingness of the story, Halo Reach instead focuses on giving us more knowledge about the Halo universe, and it does an incredible job of that as well. Not one level in this game feels like it drags on for too long or makes you feel lost. The new power-ups and special forces you can use in this game make the game feel unique without losing the signature Halo charm that all the games need to have. Another complaint I hear a lot about this game is a lot of people say it feels like the most outdated and aged terribly Halo game. While I kind of agree with that, I still enjoy the balanced combat that it has to offer, and the fact that it has power-ups allows you to combine special abilities with weapons, which makes the gameplay feel a little bit new and fun. While this would be taken to greater effect in later Halo games, Halo Reach really paved the way for different games, not even Halo, to do this kind of technique, and I feel like this way was a great way to start off this trend. Halo Reach also has an intriguing story, but as a kid, I just played the multiplayer. I don't think I ever played this story until I recorded it for this video for obvious reasons. And in these videos, I mostly go over the story, so I'm gonna not touch on multiplayer today. Halo Reach's story is, it's a bit bland. I really like the way that it goes back into Master Chief's origins without going back into Master Chief or just giving him the front seat. While yes, he does have the front seat, there's more people with you on your team, which makes it feel like a more honest and real experience than if it was just him by himself. Because it's a prequel, it allows the Halo experience to feel super raw and new without making it feel like the same Halo games. Halo Reach's backstory really intrigues you to learn more about the Halo franchises and was a great way for Bungie to send off their franchise with the last game that they would create. All in all, I feel like Halo Reach took everything I like about the original Halo Combat Evolved game and improved on it. The movement is a lot smoother, the enemies feel real and ripe and not like punching bags, and it just feels like the greatest Halo game we had up until that point. Now, of course, there's been some new games in the series that I think take this principle and improve on it a lot better. Games like Halo 4 and Halo Infinite, but Halo Reach was truly the newest Halo game that we had, despite it being a prequel. Looking back now and playing through it again, I can definitely see that Bungie charm that we just can't see in any of the newer Halo games. Halo Reach is definitely one of those games that will go down in history as one of the most memorable games of my childhood. Halo 4. Either you love it or you hate it. 343 Industries' first try at the Halo franchise left a lot of people going into it skeptical. Now, I recently played through the game just to make this video, and I still have mixed feelings about this game. Remember, this game is the reason people were mad at 343 for taking over the franchise, and were mad at Bungie for leaving it. Halo 4 is one of the best games to come out for the Xbox 360 in terms of graphics, and its style is actually not too bad. While yes, it does tend to stray away from the original IP a little bit in terms of color range, graphics, sound effects, and the soundtrack. Wow, the soundtrack is easily the worst part about this game. Just listen to the original Halo theme and then go listen to the Halo 4 theme. It sounds like a ripoff trying to avoid copyright. But I'm here to discuss the game, not the music choices. Halo 4 provides another intriguing look at the Master Chief character, which is something you'll know I like about this franchise if you watch the other videos I've done in talking about this series. Master Chief is important, there's no talking around it. Chief is the centerpiece of this franchise, and anytime the story lets us know more about the character, I'm all for it. The relationship between Master Chief and Cortana is also so natural in this game. It's so satisfying to see how she guides him along his route in this game, and how crucial she is in your success is super fun. In all the Halo games, this one makes you care about Cortana as a person, which would then set up her damage storyline in Halo 5, but that's for a whole nother discussion. In Halo 4, Master Chief feels like a veteran, the man who earned his Spartan suit, and the one who is capable of completing his missions. The story makes you realize that even after all the hardships this character has gone through, he's still willing to put in the hard work for the greater good. As for the more physical aspects of this game, I feel like the gunplay is alright. It's still the evolved combat that Halo has always been, but something seemed missing that I can't quite pinpoint. The gameplay at face value is great, but there's a certain piece that's not there for me. The game feels fast and fun and collectively intriguing, but I can't stop looking back on what is missing or what more likely should probably have been in the game. It's nothing specific, but it bewilders me. I don't know. There are some improvements that I do enjoy about this game. First off, the enemies feel like enemies and not lame punching bags like some other games in this franchise. The grunts from this game feel more alien and are definitely my absolute favorite from the entirety of this franchise. The design of the grunts finally feels the way that I think it was always meant to be. The voices of the grunts feel less like human toddlers. And I do acknowledge that this is something people like about the grunts, but the Halo 4 grunts are annoying without being childishly annoying. I also like the design of Master Chief's armor in this game. The design of the Spartan suit fits the aesthetic of the game and matches the tone and speed thereof. The Spartan suit feels like a sleek, fast take on the 117 Spartan suit and makes the character feel all the more powerful without making the suit feel like an all-purpose Iron Man suit. I will die on this hill. I don't care about Dr. Halsey. I don't have much to say, but I feel like Halsey is one of the most monotone and boring characters in all of Halo. Yes, there is something you need to do in this game that desperately requires her. I'm not going to spoil it for you if you haven't played the game, but I really cannot move past the fact that there have been multiple games dedicated to the rescue of Halsey, or needing her help thereof, and it all feels kind of used and unoriginal. Realistically, I think people are too hard on Halo 4. I like this game. It captures more of the nostalgia and from the first game than it has a right to, but it also feels more innovative than anything this franchise had brought us up to that point. The mixed feelings from reviewers and critics just shows how complex and thought-provoking this title feels while playing it. I feel like I can sink my teeth into Halo 4. That being said, I feel that up to the point, Halo 4 is one of the most immersive games that the franchise had to offer back in 2012. It feels like an homage to the original without being the original game, and feels like a brand new addition up to this day. If you have a distaste for Halo 4, I strongly encourage you to pick it up again. I had a ton of fun getting this footage and experiencing the story for myself again. Halo 4's cover art is everything a game cover should be and more. It tells you everything you need to know about this game, like Master Chief's new journey, but doesn't spoil the game or imply any false interpretations about this adventure. Halo 5 Guardians. Ugh. I'm going to try to talk about this game without saying the word hate so much, which is going to be hard because there's so many things about this game that I just hate. So let's start. Halo 5 Guardians is an addition to the Halo franchise and was released on October 27, 2015 by 343 Industries for the Xbox One. I played this game on the Xbox Series S, so I can't say what might have changed since then, but this is my take on the game itself. The story in this game is just awful. I cannot stand the fact that the one person we were trying to save, Dr. Halsey, is not worth saving. I like it better in Infinite, where we're trying to recover Cortana and find out what's happened to her, and Halsey does not warrant rescue. She doesn't really add anything to the story besides being a doctor and kind of helping you out with your weaponry, and it's not worthwhile. Another bad part about this story is you don't even start playing as Master Chief. You start playing as this random Spartan who is more or less you as a character. I talked about this in the Security Breach video where I said that a playable character that isn't you can take you out of the experience, like Gregory from that game. But in Halo 5, not playing as Master Chief loses your grab and attention. Because when you play as Master Chief, you feel like you're helping to advance this character that you love. When you're not playing as Chief, you feel like every action you make isn't important. Playing as another Spartan makes it seem like you're not the main character. This is something that the Doom franchise does really well. When you play the games, you feel like you're the only one who can vanquish all these monsters, not like you're the only one who is utterly helpless. This brings me to another thing I don't like about the game is the teams. In Halo 5, there are two teams, Fire Team Osiris and the Blue Team. Yay. Having a team that you don't really need makes you feel like you're in the background. Not only that, but you feel like your accomplishments aren't even yours. If you get revived in Halo 5 Guardians, you'll feel like the only reason you're still playing is not because of your good skill, just because the AI is saving you. Not to mention, being revived in this game only makes it way easier, and this game is incredibly easy to begin with. I might take a point to say that this is one of the easiest games to complete in the whole of the Halo franchise. If you want to, you can also completely lose your team. You can just run off. Halo 5's map is so easy to traverse that you can put yourself way ahead of your team if you want to. So I guess you can do some parts by yourself. Before I get too sidetracked, I just want to say that I hate the way this game looks. The enemies look useless, the enemies look weak, especially the grunts. Compared to the Infinite grunts, just ugh. I can now see why people feel like this game doesn't feel and look like a Halo game, because it doesn't. The world feels more like a space adventure than a Halo game or a familiar space station or planet from one of the other games. I also don't like the design of Master Chief's armor in this game. The guy is so bulky with his armor that does everything for him, and he's just a dude named John. Take a look at the design from 5 and the one from Infinite. I'm using the one from Infinite as the example because it looks like what the armor was originally supposed to be, just with the newest graphics. That's what it ended up being. The Halo 5 one feels like he is the suit, rather than the man with a backstory who deserves the suit. I also took a poll on YouTube asking you guys if you liked Halo 5 Guardians, and overwhelmingly you guys voted no, but it wasn't as far that way as I expected. I expected like 90% of you, but only about 30% of you said you liked the game, and 70% of you said that you didn't like it. Just around that. I don't know, I haven't checked it in a few minutes. So that's basically what it is. People don't like this game, and honestly, for good reason. This game is not fun. This game is a drag. This game is bad. There's no story. The elements are terrible. And I didn't even mention the enemies and guns look more like an artificial intelligence than like creepy monsters. They all look robotic and stupid, and like they're from like 5,000 years in the future. They feel like Star Wars weapons. They don't feel like Halo weapons, and it drives me insane every single time. And the map doesn't help either. This game feels like a Star Wars spin-off game more than a Halo game, and it feels like 343 had no idea what they're doing with this one, and I can see why they had lost credibility for some points. I hate to break it to you, but I believe that 343 Industries has made something great. Well, not amazing, but just simply great. I guarantee that each and every one of you watching will find something to agree and disagree with me about this game in this video, so please let me know down in the comments what it is, because I know I can't be the only one who has mixed feelings about this game. Thank you. Alright, before I get into it, I want to also foreclose that I played this game on the enhanced Xbox Series S X version of the game, specifically the Series S, and this footage that you see will be captured in 60 frames per second, and I did not play on Xbox One or Windows 10. I highly doubt that the game is that much different on those other platforms, but if you did play on one of those other platforms and felt like I did a disservice in talking about this, also leave that in the comments below. I want to see what kind of changes I might have missed because I played on the Xbox Series S. Halo Infinite is everything you would have expected to see from 343. I can't really say that the game surpassed my expectations, but I can say that there are some things that kept me engaged the entire time. Halo Infinite is a nice, freshly cooked version of the Halo franchise. It's shiny, visually pleasing, and gives the player a sense of space, and the world is great. The gunplay is also really good. At no point while shooting, I feel like an area or a specific level drags on for too long. It's all well balanced in point of difficulty and in point of level spacing that satisfies me each time I play the game. The game is more or less a callback to the original Halo Combat Evolved game. I feel like Infinite has a lot to offer that a lot of people overlook. Ever since the first game came out, Halo has been impressing people with the way that controller movement is so good, and I find that in Halo Infinite, despite controllers having far more limitations with aiming than keyboard and mouse does, playing Halo Infinite, I find that controls feel super satisfying and overall well placed and good. And also to note that I was playing on the default settings for the Halo Infinite shooting controls, so there was nothing changed and I felt like my experience was great. The game also looks amazing. I could go on forever about how the graphics and art style in this game are incredibly good, but no matter what I say, people will always say that the Bungie art style feels more to them like Halo. While I tend to agree with that statement, I can say that this game improves on a lot of things Bungie was at fault for in the art creation of the original Halo game. I really enjoyed just looking at this game and found it really pleasing to take in the visuals that 343 had placed for us. Comparing it to the original game, I prefer the Halo Infinite visuals to the old one. Now one is in 16:9 and 60 frames per second, and the other is only in 4:3 at 30. But I feel like the improvements made over 20 years are monumental compared to the expectations. Now keep in mind the expectations for this game were not exactly high, but Halo Infinite definitely gave us what we asked for and got rid of what we didn't like about Halo 5 Guardians. Okay, Halo Infinite did keep the Cortana storyline from Guardians, but the Cortana storyline is one of the most intriguing parts of this game. I'm not usually one to play games for the story, but in Halo Infinite I was happy if I was watching the cutscenes, because the cutscenes gave me a better understanding of the story. I wanted some of the cutscenes to be even longer. Some of the cutscenes are really long, but all the cutscenes are skippable. I recommend watching the cutscenes because I feel that unlocking more of the story is a little bit of a reward for killing all the enemies in the previous area, but the cutscenes are there if you want, and also not there if you choose to skip it, I guess. The story in this game intrigues you to discover more. This is an open world game, of course, and the more you explore, the more you unlock. This game goes into some pretty cool details about the upbringing of Master Chief and his past 20 years after the character was announced to us. And I think that's really interesting, and some of the things that are told to us about Master Chief, I'm trying to keep this video relatively spoiler-free, are pretty revealing and super worthwhile in exploring throughout the game and finding some things out. I really like that this game went more in depth with this character instead of like with Halo 5 Guardians, where it doesn't go in depth with the character and gives more us like him as a team leader, I guess. But this one goes more into depth with Master Chief, who he is as a character and who he is as a person, and exploring more of this glorious map definitely rewards you to keep exploring. Another one of my favorite parts of the story is watching Master Chief's relationship with Cortana, despite, spoiler alert, kinda, Cortana isn't in the game for a majority of it. Despite what you see in this cutscene I'm showing here, this is technically a copy of Cortana, but is not Cortana. This is a weapon made to imitate Cortana, but you go and see how Master Chief reacts and responds with Cortana being absent. It's really unique to see what kind of a relationship those two have, with one of them being absent for a majority of the game. It definitely shows you how much he needs her for his missions, and it is a really cool payoff. So if you haven't, I really recommend you go out and purchase Halo Infinite, or it's on Xbox Game Pass, and that is actually how I played it. You can download it. This is not an ad. I really just want you to go play Halo Infinite and form your own opinion, and tell me in the comments below what you thought about the game, what you thought I missed talking about, and what you think I should speak about in some of my other videos.